Hello, everybody. Scott G, life coach here, and welcome back. I know I haven't been here in a while. I apologize for that. Hopefully, do a little bit better with that in the weeks and months to come, but we're working on it one step at a time. This is basically how do we deal with manipulation and things we need to know about manipulative behavior. And so it's super important. If you're looking for coaching over overcoming things like that, either your own tendency towards manipulation and or how to get out of the mindset that's caused by a manipulative behavior certainly can help with that. Link in description as far as how to get in contact. We can set up from there. First is manipulative behavior is a pattern, and most people that are in the midst of the pattern do not want to change the pattern. This doesn't mean that they're bad people, but it means that the scars they're carrying ultimately uh, change their mind frame, change their psychology, change the way that they view the world in such a way that it is easier to manipulate than to be honest. And I think also when we have a culture especially in Western culture, that prizes power over personhood, it can often be extremely toxic in many ways because people think that having power is going to make them feel better about themselves, and it does create this vicious cycle where the pattern continues. Secondly, gaslighting. Many manipulative people will gaslight others into the belief that the abuse they're suffering or the hardship they're dealing with is their own fault. When a person believes that things are their fault, they will back down. This is a great way for the manipulative individual to ultimately gain control in a situation and also deflect and divert away from changes they need to make within themselves. Realize that gaslighting behavior is designed with the express goal of helping people to maintain control without giving away any level of personal vulnerability. Also, having defenses against these things that don't cause you to get terribly upset, and or learning how to only show you're upset when you're in a safe space around friends or family or people that can support you, be they professionals or personals or a blend of both, is important. Having those defenses of ways to exit conversations when you realize that you're being manipulated without creating a confrontation will also help you to identify the ways in which you have previously been manipulated into staying into situations that aren't healthy for you. Many times it can take months or years to figure out those patterns, especially if they're deep rooted from childhood or early adulthood wounds. So be gentle with yourself as you go through the process of trying to identify the ways of, modifying how you behave in a way that you can live with. Also, know what your boundaries are and realize that very rarely, we're talking tenths or hundredths of a percentage point, is it worth it to break your own boundaries for the benefit of another person? Obviously, there are exceptions to rules, but internal rules are almost just as important as external laws or societal expectations. Because when you live your boundaries as though they matter, they will matter to the people that are in your life. Also, you will be able to eliminate people from your life that don't have your best interest at heart, or the people in your life who maybe seemed to have your best interest at heart, but were trying to direct you in a direction that you weren't naturally going to go. Sometimes agreeing to disagree is a valuable thing to do, and it's worth considering. Other times, though, we develop friendships under the auspices of a false belief, such as this person will change, or that we can change the person, we can influence their behavior, or that they will agree with us as we move forward, and sometimes that just isn't the case. The next thing is realize that people who try to manipulate and are committed to manipulation are selfish. They're selfishly motivated. These are individuals who realize that they can weaponize their own harms and hurts from the past in such a way that makes them powerful. And a lot of times, what happens is the power that they don't feel in their daily lives can often cause them to feel lost almost in a certain way. And so the challenge becomes how to keep a person accountable to the person they're trying to become without necessarily leading them to be in a situation that is more directed and more valuable without giving away too much power, understanding that people who are controlling and manipulative often don't even realize the way they're behaving until they're confronted about it. And then when they're confronted, changing the behavior is not what they're thinking about. They're thinking about saving face. They're thinking about getting to a place where ultimately they're not negatively affected by what they've done. And so it's important to consider these things. Hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.